You just cut yourself on a piece of paper. It's tiny, barely bleeding. But right now, beneath your skin, an incredibly violent war has just begun. Within seconds, thousands of your cells will die. Within minutes, your body will deploy millions of soldiers to hunt down and brutally murder the invaders. This is not a metaphor. This is actually happening inside you. Right now. What exactly happens when bacteria breach your defenses? Who are your body's first responders? And how do they wage war at the microscopic scale? Let's dive into the innate immune system's immediate, violent response to a simple cut. Let's rewind to the moment of injury. For 4.6 billion years, Earth's surface has been a battlefield between multicellular organisms and bacteria. Your skin is the fortress wall, a massive barrier made of about 1.6 trillion tightly packed cells, constantly being replaced. It's very good at its job. But you just gave bacteria a door. Within a single second of the cut, blood rushes to the wound carrying millions of cells and proteins. Your blood vessels near the injury immediately constrict, then rapidly dilate. This is inflammation beginning. The damaged cells around the wound are dying, and as they die, they scream. They release alarm chemicals, cytokines and chemokines, molecular distress signals that say, "We're under attack. Send everything." Bacteria from your skin, the paper, the air, maybe 10,000 of them, are flooding through the breach. For context, a single bacterium is about 2 micrometers long. Your cut, barely visible, is to them like a canyon 50,000 times their size. This is their moment. They start multiplying. 1 becomes 2, 2 become 4, 4 become 8. Without intervention, in 8 hours, 1 bacterium could become over 16 million. They will not get 8 hours. And if you want to see more deep dives into the hidden battles your body fights every day, hit that subscribe button, because what happens next is even more intense. Living in your tissues right now, scattered throughout your body like sentries, are about 300 billion macrophages. Their name means big eaters in Greek. And it's not poetic, it's literal. These cells are 20 to 50 micrometers across, absolute giants in the cellular world, and they are permanently hungry. Within 30 seconds of the cut, the nearest macrophages detect the alarm signals. They change shape, extending finger-like projections, pseudopods, and start moving. Not floating, moving. Crawling through your tissue at about 10 micrometers per minute toward the wound. To them, your tissue is like a dense forest they navigate with brutal efficiency. When a macrophage finds a bacterium, what happens next looks like something from a horror film. The macrophage surrounds the bacterium with its pseudopods in a process called phagocytosis, literally cell eating. The bacterium is pulled inside, trapped in a bubble called a phagosome. Then, the macrophage does something extraordinary. It fuses this bubble with another bubble filled with digestive enzymes and acids, a phagolysosome. The pH drops to around 4.5. Enzymes tear apart proteins. The bacterium is dissolved alive from the inside. This takes about 20 to 30 minutes per kill. But there's a problem. You have maybe a few thousand macrophages in the immediate area. The bacteria are multiplying. Your resident guards are overwhelmed. They've been buying time. Now they call for reinforcements. NeutroPhils are the most abundant white blood cells in your body. You have about 100 billion of them circulating in your blood at any moment. They're smaller than macrophages, about 12 to 15 micrometers, but they are specialized killing machines, and they've received the distress call. Within 30 to 60 minutes of your cut, something remarkable happens in your blood vessels near the wound. The vessel walls become sticky. Neutrophils flowing past begin to slow down, rolling along the vessel wall like tires. They're reading chemical signals. The enemy is this way. Then they do something that sounds impossible. They squeeze through the blood vessel wall, a process called diapedesis. These cells, 12 micrometers wide, push themselves through gaps between vessel wall cells that are only 5 to 10 micrometers. They deform their entire structure, nucleus and all, and emerge on the other side into your tissue. By 2 to 4 hours after the cut, millions of neutrophils have arrived. The wound area is now a war zone. Neutrophils kill differently than macrophages. They're faster and more brutal. They can also phagocytose bacteria, trap and digest them, but they have additional weapons. They release granules filled with antimicrobial proteins and enzymes that kill bacteria externally. These chemicals are so powerful, they also destroy your own cells. This is why pus exists. Pus is dead neutrophils, dead bacteria, and dead tissue cells, all mixed together in the debris of battle. But neutrophils have one more terrifying weapon: nets, neutrophil extracellular traps. When a neutrophil is overwhelmed or dying, it can self-destruct in a specific way. It expels its own DNA out of the cell in a web-like mesh, studded with antimicrobial proteins. This DNA net traps bacteria like a spider web, holding them in place while the proteins kill them. It's a suicide attack that turns the neutrophil's death into a trap. The infection is being contained. The breach is being sealed. But the battle is incredibly violent. Millions of your cells are dying, both the defenders and the invaded. This is why even small cuts can become inflamed, red, warm, swollen. That's not the bacteria hurting you. That's your immune system waging war. Here's something important. This system can fail. If bacteria multiply faster than neutrophils can arrive, the infection spreads. If the bacteria have particularly good defenses, like the thick cell wall of Staphylococcus aureus, they can resist phagocytosis. If the infection goes deep, beyond where neutrophils can easily reach, it becomes systemic. And sometimes, the immune response itself is the problem. Neutrophils are so destructive that prolonged inflammation can damage healthy tissue. In sepsis, the immune system's response to bacteria becomes so overwhelming it starts destroying the body it's trying to protect. The defenders become the threat. We're also just beginning to understand how bacteria communicate and coordinate during infections using chemical signals called quorum sensing. They're not mindless invaders. They have strategies. But step back and consider what's actually happening. You got a paper cut. You barely noticed it. Maybe you stuck a Band-Aid on it and forgot about it. And yet, in the hours after, millions of your cells mobilized, fought, and died to protect you from an infection you never even knew about. This happens constantly. Every day, you get micro-injuries. Every day, bacteria try to invade. Every day, without your conscious awareness, macrophages patrol your tissues, and neutrophils stand ready in your blood, prepared to deploy at a moment's notice. If this kind of deep dive into your body's hidden mechanisms fascinates you, subscribe. We break down complex biology into stories like this every week. You are a fortress. Your 40 trillion cells are working 24 hours a day to keep you alive. The innate immune system, just the first responders we've discussed here, is identifying, hunting, and destroying thousands of potential infections before you even notice something is wrong. And this is only the beginning. We haven't even talked about the adaptive immune system, the backup system that learns and remembers every invader. Your body is a masterpiece of violence and protection. A paper cut is a battlefield. A scraped knee is a war. And you win almost every single time. So the next time you get a small cut and it heals in a few days, take a moment to appreciate what happened. Millions of your cells just fought and died for you. Your body waged a violent, coordinated military operation at the microscopic scale, and it won. You are alive because you are a fortress, and your defenders never sleep.